Hey everybody, Declan here. Welcome to episode 4, I believe. I should know better. Of the road to Dublin. My weekly vlog, which is going to sort of share the journey of training for a marathon, going through the sort of plan week by week, and just checking in to see how my progress is going. The ups and downs of marathon training as well. Last week was a very good week. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a fantastic week for myself in terms of a training point of view and a personal point of view as well, which I'll come to towards the end of the video. But from a training point of view, last week's episode, you heard that I was off on holidays and it was a down week. So look, forgetting about the holiday part, let's just focus on the down week. So on most marathon training plans or half marathon training plans, you should see a clear progression within your plan. You should have 3 weeks of moving up. Whether that's the frequency, intensity, or the time of your runs. And then on week 4, there should be a drop down again, a down week, a recovery week, a week that allows those 3 weeks of hard training to embed, that you can actually get the benefit of it, okay? So last week was my down week. And boy, did I feel good this week. Just absolutely fantastic. Every session was nailed. There's been no issues, no problems, no concerns. So that's the end of the video. Yeah, simple as that. No. So I'll talk about my progress throughout the week and how things went. So the first run of the week I done on Monday. So I had a couple of days rest. Monday's run had been off my day job and starting my evening job, and I had a bit of time in between, so just put on the trainers, got ready, went out for a run. And initially I was going to do 4 miles easy, but it felt really good. It was raining, it was lashing down, and it was one of those ones where the rain was just so needed. I'm sure all you runners can appreciate that there. Whenever you've ran through the summer and it's dry and it's hot and it's humid, whereas when you're running in that sort of type of rain where it's just teeming on you but there's no wind, it just feels so good. And this run just felt so good. So the pace ended up being slightly quicker for the first mile, so a quick change of plan was to move this into sort of a faster paced run. So the plan had initially said to do 5 miles at 8-minute mile pace, and I ended up doing 7 miles at 8:07. Okay. It really would have been, I think the sort of last 6 miles were all done at 8 pace or under. It was only really the first mile that was that little bit slower, as I felt when I get into it. So that was run 1, ticked off, one of the harder runs of the week done. The goal is, I suppose the goal for myself really in this marathon training block is to get myself back down to sort of a 3:30 marathon or under. Ideally I would like to get back under it, well under it, maybe closer to a PB or hopefully hit a PB, but 3:30, 8-minute mile pace, I should be comfortable covering a marathon there, and then I can build over the summer block, and that was the goal 4 weeks ago whenever I started. That goal has not changed as of yet, and that's what we're going to continue working on. So that run was effectively done 6 miles at marathon goal pace, and it felt effortless, really good. So then the next day I took a day's rest, and I just knew, because there was a harder session coming up in the midweek, that a day's rest would be good for me there. Wednesday came and went. In the morning I went out and did 4 miles, easy paced, no issues with it, just toddling along nicely. And it's really good to look at my easy pace. I don't know if anybody else does keep a record of this, sort of what I do. I sort of keep a paper-based record. I'm a very visual person. I like to look at things and see the progression. I know that I can look at my Garmin, my Strava, and see all the stats and data there, Runalyze, etc. But for me, having this plan printed out that I can look at the runs. So here, if I go back to my very first 4 mile easy run, which is an effort, not a pace, it was done at 9:04. 9:04 pace, and that was 4 miles. It was actually only 3 miles because I was coming back from the injury. Whereas on Wednesday of last week, the 4 miles easy, which was the exact same course and the exact same effort, was done at 8:37s. So my fitness is coming back. That layering upon layering over the last sort of 3 weeks has got me to the point where that easy effort is a little bit faster. And that's, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant to see. Later that afternoon, or later that day, I went out again in absolute pouring rain once more to do hill reps. It's been a long time since I've done hill reps. Whenever I'm ultra training or ultra running, I'm not the sort of strongest ultra runner in the world. Although I do enjoy them, I don't run the hills. I walk the hills. You walk the hills and run the flats. So it's been a long time since I've had to do any hill training because I've just been working in the ultra mode. So to do 15 hill reps, it was sort of like, jeepers, do I really need to do this? Do I really want to do this here? But I just had to go out and get it done. It was as simple as that. Whether I wanted to or not was just, it's in the plan. It's a non-negotiable. It gets done. So I went out in the pouring rain, as I said, and I found a hill and I started on it, and it was great up and down it, but it just didn't feel right. It wasn't steep enough. It just didn't feel like it was challenging me. So I went up and down it 5 times and took myself off for a little jog around the corner where I knew there was going to be another hill. So a wee 3-minute jog took me to another hill, and I was going up and down it 3 times, or sorry, 5 times as well. And again, it just wasn't steep enough for me. I just wasn't, I knew I was working hard, but I thought, here, let's test these legs. There's bound to be more in them as well. So I took myself to the other side of that hill, and anybody who knows sort of where I run in around Macrofeld, it's up the Tamnadies Road, or Man's Lane as it's sometimes called, and I went the steeper side of it. So it was a real hard test on the legs, and that was my final 5. So my hill session, instead of doing sort of 15 minutes or 15 straight hill reps on the one hill, I actually ended up increasing the intensity of it over each 5. So I've done 3 sets of 5, and the intensity increased. I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the way that session was broke down. So I've started to bring that into plans that I do for other people. 3 sets of 5. With a little bit of a break in between all of it, and it just allows you to hit it with more form. Stops, sort of prevents any injuries and things like that there too. So I really enjoyed that there. Soaked wet, absolutely brilliant run. And the legs, you know what, they didn't feel too bad. So I do have hills coming up this next week for me again. Next day was Thursday. Thursday I just went out 8 miles, easy paced, just pottering along. This one was a little bit slower than the previous one, which I'm expecting to happen, especially after a double run day with hills at the end of it. Easy is an effort. I'm going to go back to that there. I say this and preach this to everybody I coach. Easy is not a pace, it's an effort. So if for me, the easy should be a recovery run. It shouldn't be making you feel tired, shouldn't fatigue you out. So if you're running to the right effort, the pace may slow down if you're tired from the day before, if you haven't slept well, ate well, maybe you're getting sick, whatever it may be. So this 8 miles was slightly slower. It was done at 8:49 pace, so I say ever so slightly. So that was Thursday. Then I took Friday off, I think. Was it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Yeah. Friday I took off again. I just needed another rest day. I just had a busy day in work. I knew that it was going to be really hectic, and it was also my wedding anniversary that night. So we were out for a meal, and while I could have ran beforehand, it was just not the right thing for me to do. It was a nice meal. Dawson's in Castle Dawson, if you ever get a chance to go to it. Really, really good. But I was quite sensible. I didn't have any drink at all. I had a glass of wine when I came home. So I knew that I had a sort of a busy weekend ahead. So I had to do what I really don't like doing. Saturday morning, I got up early. I was up at 5:45 and out the door for 6:30. There's people watching this saying, early, Declan? That's not early. That's really early for me. But yeah, long run had to be done. Had to be in shard changed for 9 o'clock to get back to work. So it was just a priority getting it done, because I knew on Sunday, which I'll come to, I wasn't going to get a long run in. So 15 miles. How do I approach my long runs? So my long runs, for me and for some that I coach, and for others who are pushing for a time, and are comfortable and are maybe a wee bit more sort of at an intermediate and advanced level. I tend to run the long runs at about 20 to 30 seconds slower than marathon pace or goal marathon pace. And the sort of reason that I do that there is because you have to get used to that there. I know there's a lot of plans out there saying, your easy runs or your long runs should be done a minute and a half slower than the marathon pace. But, whenever it comes to the marathon, it's a long, long distance. And if you're not used to running at the faster pace or not used to running close to it, it can be very difficult to do. So 15 miles, the goal was to hit sort of 8:35 at this stage of the plan. And you know what? I picked a really good route. It wasn't too hilly. Downhill start, which is always good to get your legs going, but holding the pace back a wee bit, just so that it didn't get too carried away and tired myself out. But you know what? It was consistent. It was sort of all the miles were in around that 8:20 to 8:30 pace. And it's evident that you can see that there. My average finish time in that one was 8:24. So the longest steady run that I've done in absolute months. There was a couple of pit stops, let's just say, which most runners know about. But other than that, they're really steady, really controlled, really consistent. It was done fasted. I hadn't had anything. It was done without water, because I didn't feel like I needed it. I just felt so good. And I say that that's a recurring theme on this week's report as such, or this week's vlog, just how good everything felt. Everything felt in control. The heart rate felt in control. To sort of summarise up to that point, I did do another run, which was just a wee bit later, but I'll come back to that there. Summarise up to that point, the average miles, or the total miles, sorry, was 39 miles. So it was an increase. You can see this gradual increase from 35 2 weeks ago. We don't count the down week. So we're increasing the miles, we're increasing the intensity, and we're increasing the frequency of the runs as well, because we did add another day's running here. So 4 days, became 5 on Sunday. On Sunday, I was down at Mary Peters Track doing a coaching assistant course. So what is a coaching assistant, you may ask? I've already completed the leader in running fitness, followed that pathway through the athletics coaching model or coaching journey. And I done my LERF, the leading in running fitness, and then I did my CURF, the coach in running fitness. And I've been coaching for about 4 years now with regards to runners. But due to a new opportunity that I have now taken on, I need to do the athletics pathway as well. So the coaching assistant with athletics, NI, UK athletics, it was a fantastic wee course. First 4 sessions were done over Zoom, with 2 fabulous trainers, and then we had a full day of activity yesterday at Mary Peters Track. So it was going on from 10 in the morning to it was about 4:15 by the time we finished up. Thankfully there was only 7 of us on the course, because we had to do warm-ups for every single person. We did some micro coaching, then we had to lead a main session, and if you weren't leading it, you were completing it. So it was absolutely draining throughout the day, but really, really good to watch other coaching assistants and coaches and future coaches, and how they present, how they deliver, how they do sessions, etc. as well. And there's a lot of things that I'm going to take from that there and start introducing into my own personal coaching for runners as well, especially bringing a bit more fun into things, some game elements into some sessions that we'll do in the future as well. So really, really interesting. So I sort of alluded to a new opportunity, and I suppose this is the first time I've told everybody about it. There's a couple of people out there that do know that I've handed in my notice to my main day job, and I'm going to take up a position with Athletics NI. So it's an absolutely fantastic opportunity for me to grow as a coach, as a person, and to just follow a career with my passion, which is athletics and running, and watching people grow The role is club coach and development officer. So it'll be working very closely with the development manager in athletics and hopefully then working with sort of athletics clubs, schools, youth groups, etc. in promoting athletics and promoting athletics in a fun way to people. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to making that role my own and getting out there and getting talking to a lot more people. Okay, so that's the big news. And I say, I started next Monday. So maybe when I'm doing this vlog next week, I'll have started the new role. So I'm excited. Really excited about starting the role. So if you see me out and about in Northern Ireland, if you see me at your club, do come along and say hello. Introduce yourself, and we can have a good chat about everything athletics related. It's my specialist topic. They say this thing: if you were to give half an hour, and you had no preparation, you had to stand up in front of a stage, what could you talk about? Well, I think you could guess I could talk about running all day long, never mind just half an hour. So, guys, I'll wrap up that now. I'm not too sure how long this has went on for. Thank you very much, everybody, for following this here, for the very, very positive comments that I'm getting through, and the private messages as well. I'm going to try to go live on Sunday evening onto YouTube as well. I have a Facebook group called Virtual Run and I Community Group, and we're doing a talk with Karen Lother in it, with regards to nutrition for runners, whether that's preparing for events, what you should eat when you're training, how to fuel your runs, and how to fuel yourself post-run, about your recovery, what's the best foods to take in as well. So we'll try my very best to go live there. If I don't and you would like to see this information, drop me a message and I'll add you into that Facebook group, and we'll have the video as a pin there. So we'll be going live at 8 o'clock. Guys, as I said, thank you very much for watching. If you do like this content, just let me know if there's anything that I should be doing different, or any questions that you may have. Please do ask me and I'll try to answer them. Okay, thanks very much, guys. Have a great week. Bye bye.